Hey everybody, welcome to Bend with Bree and our beginner flexibility yoga challenge. I'm really excited that you're here today. So today we're going to be doing a lower body flexibility flow. We're going to start seated crisscross here, hands above the head, taking some deep breaths in and out. Before placing your hands on your knees, and you're just going to rock back and forth, just warming up a little bit here. Forward, back, forward. Now when you lean forward, you're going to place your hands on the floor and bend forward slightly. You want to think of keeping a straight back and tightening your core. Then you're going to place your hands behind you, lift yourself up a little bit, and then walk your hands forward. Behind you and lift your hips. It can be just the barest little bit that you lift your hips, hands in front of you. Behind you, lift your hips. Then what I want you to do is bring one foot flexed a little bit forward, so about to the center of your chest, and walk yourself forward a little bit. So remember, you want to focus more on keeping your core tight and your back flat. So you're going to press into the knee that has the foot in front, just twisting a little bit, back to center, and then switch the foot that's in front. So walk forward a little bit, or you can stay seated if that's enough of a stretch for you. Take that little twist. Awesome job. Come back to crisscross here, arch your back, round, arch, round, arch, round. Now we're going to come into some circles. So you're going to bring your spine to one side, back, side, forward, side, back, side, forward. Now smooth it out. So taking a circle with your spine, this can just be a little bit. It can feel really weird at first. So don't be afraid to look a little silly as you get used to these movements. That's what this challenge is all about. So we're going to switch directions. So you're going to do forward, side, back, side, forward, side, back, side, forward, side, and then go ahead and smooth it out, making those circles, playing around with it. You can bring your head into it, or you can stick with keeping it a little bit more static. Now just make some circles with your neck, circling your head around, holding your neck down before switching directions. The neck is forgotten pretty frequently in stretching, so I always like to give it some love. Look down to the side just a little bit, but keeping your neck down. To the other side. Roll your shoulders back. Forward. Now you're going to roll one shoulder back, one shoulder forward. So a little bit of a dancey movement here. You can see what I'm doing on screen. Then switch directions. So same with one shoulder forward, one shoulder back, but you're just switching the direction. Now just rock your body side to side here. Now you're just going to come into some arm swings. So just swing your arms back and forth. And I realize I said lower body earlier, but this is definitely an upper body flow. So I apologize for that. So after your arm swings, you're going to hold one arm across your chest. You've probably seen this stretch before. Just stretching out the shoulder. Now come into that tricep stretch, thinking to bring your hand to the center of your back. What you want to remember is to not arch your back too much. Go to the side a little bit, then back to center, side, center, hold in the center. Perfect. Back to those arm swings. For those who like to work out, this is a really good exercise to do before you warm up, just to get your body ready. Perfect. Now bring the opposite arm across the chest into that shoulder stretch. Now that tricep stretch, thinking of bring your hand to the center of your back, not letting your back arch too much. Now go to the side, center, side, center, side, center. hands down. You're going to bring one hand to the mat and you're going to go into that side body stretch. Then move your chest to the floor. Switch directions, side body stretch, chest to the floor, back to center. So go ahead and roll over your toes into all fours. So shoulders above wrists, hips above your knees, just rock back and forth here. So round your back and rock back and forth. This is one of my favorites. And now arch your back and rock back and forth. You're going to do some hip circles. Now switch directions. You're going to plant that back foot on the mat and push into it slightly, getting into the calf. Now pulse back and forth, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. Really, really good calf stretch here. Now step that foot forward. Use your core. You can kind of assist with your hand too. You're going to go into a low lunge. Now bring your hands to your knees. You want to think of keeping your hips facing the front of your mat. You don't need to go down this deep. You can lift your hips a little bit. Now bring your hands to the floor or some blocks and come into that half split. Low lunge, half split, low lunge, half split, low lunge, half split, low lunge, half split, low lunge, half split. Perfect. Now come into a pigeon. You want to bring your toes towards your hip. You're going to think of squeezing your thighs together so you're lifted, and then drop with your hands above your head. Sorry, it's my phone alarm. So come forward slightly, placing your hands on the mat, if that's in your practice. By bringing your toes in towards your hip, you're lightening the stretch a bit. If you bring your foot flex towards the front of your mat, so it's parallel with the front of your mat, that's going to make the stretch a lot harder, just so you know as you advance. You can walk your hands behind you slightly. Now what I want you to do is grab your foot. You can also use a strap to assist with grabbing your foot, and just move it in and out. Whether you have the strap or your hand, you're going to move your foot in, out, in, out, in, hold. Back to all fours. Now take a down dog here. Your knees can stay bent. Drop your knees, lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, drop, lift. Now drop your knees, knee to chest, and take those hip circles with the opposite leg. Switch directions. Hip circles are such a strong way to warm up if you're doing any kind of flexibility. I've said this was a lower body flow and upper body flow. It's both. I did filming today, so I got myself all mixed up. So you're going to plant your foot on the mat. We're going to go back into that calf stretch, pulsing back and forth here. Perfect. Now step your foot between your hands, or have your hands help bring your foot to the center. You can place your hands on your knee. That low lunge here. Getting into the hip flexor before planting your hands on a mat or some blocks and going into that half split. Forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, hold. We're going to come into pigeon. Toes towards your hip, use your inner thighs to squeeze, hold yourself up before dropping and lifting your hands above your head. The reason we do that exercise where we're squeezing our inner thighs together to lift is strength is just as important as flexibility. Go ahead and do that leaning forward a little bit. If you're going to increase your flexibility, you want to make sure you're increasing your strength alongside it for safety, and that will really help with getting into those more advanced asanas. Go to do that little back bend. Now reach for your foot, either with your hand or your strap, getting into the quadricep. Now you're going to pull it in and out. So out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. Hold. Perfect. So swing that legs toward the center. We're going back into that easy pose, just doing some circles here. Switch directions of that circle. Now clasp your hands together and do some circles with the wrists. Switch directions. Especially if you're someone who types a lot, we just do so much with our wrists. They really deserve the love. Separate your hands and do circles. Switch directions. You can grab your fingers and pull them towards you, getting into the forearms before giving yourself a hug. If you're sticking with this challenge, you're doing really, really well. This flow is a really good one to save and come back to. This just kind of gets into all the different muscles. I highly recommend you do this one frequently, at least 2-3 times a week if you're trying to increase your flexibility. So you're going to keep one leg bent, one leg straight, and do some circles, flex and point your foot, just really getting into the ankle. This will help with foot flexibility if you're trying to get a deeper toe point. If you wear heels, this will help. If you've got tight calves, you lift. So you're going to bend that leg, straighten the other, and go into those circles with the ankle, both directions. Flex point, flex point, flex point. Don't neglect your feet. Bring your knees to your chest. Rock side to side. So you're going to plant your left foot. Bring your right leg straight into a hamstring stretch. You're going to grab right below the knee. Then bend your leg, grab the outside of your foot, and come into a happy baby. A half happy baby, and this can just be a little bit of a stretch, or you can bring it all the way down like I did. So plant that right foot, bring your left foot into your chest, just hold. Do that half happy baby here. Awesome. Now you're going to bend both of your legs, bring into a full happy baby, grabbing the outside of your feet. Bring your toes towards each other, then separate, towards each other, and separate, towards each other, separate, hold. Awesome. Go ahead and bring everything down to the mat. Take a deep breath and let your body relax. You did a really fantastic job. I can't wait to see you for another day of this challenge or back in this flow. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a great day.